back to the Cabinet Kids! We are going to Rosebud Farm,
where we are going to learn about organic fruit and how they grow. We might see dingoes, wallabies, or cassowaries.
Bye! Hi guys, welcome back to the Cabinet Kids. We are at Rosebud Garden and
We are going to learn about organic farming. And we're going to meet Dave and Neil. I can't wait to ask them questions. See you soon! Bye! Hi guys, we're here with Neil and he's going to show us around in the organic garden.
Neil, can you tell us a bit about the place?
Okay, so what we've got here is a zootropic method of growing. We grow organically, so we don't use any poisons, any chemicals or any sprays of any kind. We use a method that pretty much is really, really old way of farming, and we're trying to make it new again. Let's have a look in here so people can understand what's happening. So we come in and have a look in here. So what we're trying to do is we want to mimic nature. When you have a look here, you've got all different layers. You see all the different layers here. You've got pawpaw. Look at this fella. What do you reckon that is?
Cucumber.
Cucumber, yeah. And down here, what do we got?
Carrot.
There's some parsley.
Oh, parsley.
And here,
Oh, I have nothing.
this is a basil
Oh.
type. And over here,
Onion, lemon.
yeah, this is a walking onion. He's different to a spring onion. He walks along the ground and he creates huge amounts of little bulbs. And you can plant one of those little bulbs, put him in the ground, and he will grow up and have 10, 15 or 20. And you take a few and replant them again. And what he's doing, his job, because they've all got a job in the system, his job is to cover the ground as much as possible. And he gets help from this fella here, and sometimes from these guys. And so these guys, their job, they're a vine. One of their jobs in the garden is to climb up to the big trees and pull them down, so start all over again. Seems a bit weird.
Yep.
Okay, and there's another pawpaw here, and over here we have a eucalypt. Because what we want is even your mum, she's had children for a reason, so her children can continue to do what she started. Yeah?
Yeah.
And so what we're doing here is this is the child of the pawpaw, and the pawpaw's got a eucalypt to take over when the pawpaw can't do the job anymore. And after the eucalypt there'll be another one, and so on and so forth. So this one is another one. His job as a eucalypt is to get up really, really high in the sky, and he's got a massive taproot. And the idea of that taproot, it goes right down deep into the ground, and it pulls all the water up. So we call this the father, okay? His job is to be the provider for the whole garden. So he's doing all the watering. So he's bringing up all the water, and usually what we do is we mix bananas with this one, like you'll see on the other rows. And a banana is like a big sponge. So we have a tap that pulls all the water up, and a banana that holds it like a sponge. That way there's plenty of water here. We cover the ground at all times, because under that ground is a whole lot of little microorganisms. Little ones, you can't even see them. We've got to use microscopes that multiply your sight by 400 times, just so you can see them. They're tiny, tiny little fellas. But they're the fellas that make all your food turn up. Without them, you wouldn't have food. So this is what we're doing here. We're protecting them from getting sunburnt. Because you imagine being that small, you're not going to handle the sun too well, yeah? So that's why we cover the ground. So this fella's not just getting water, but he's growing lots of extra leaves. Now, all of the plants, one of the things that they do through their leaves, one of the cool things is they breathe in what you breathe out. So what do you breathe out, do you know?
Yeah, oxygen.
Carbon dioxide. Oxygen is what you breathe in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you breathe out carbon dioxide, and that's what they breathe in. But what do you reckon they breathe out?
Oxygen.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
While they're doing that, they're using the sunlight and the water and that carbon dioxide that you breathe, and they turn that into sugar.
Really?
That's what they do. That's what the leaf on a plant's supposed to do. And so we put lots of them in here because guess what we want in here? Lots of sugar. Yeah. Okay, and they turn that into sugar, and then they push that sugar down their stem into their roots. And the reason they do that is those little microbes you see in the ground, they've got a little like market stall. And they got their sugar on the market stall, and they're like, I want some calcium, and a little microbe will come up with calcium and he'll swap it for the sugar, and away he'll go. He's really happy. And the other guy, he's like, I want iron, and he swaps it for some sugar, and then he's now, as a tree, because he can't walk anywhere, he gets all the calcium he needs, all the iron he needs, all the boron he needs, all those real special things, because he swaps it for the sugar that he makes. Now without him, we have to be the ones that make the sugar. And that's what farmers have been doing today, is they've been fertilizing with chemicals and poisons. And that's what they're trying to do, is put sugar on the plant. They're trying to do the job of a plant, when really we can just get a plant to do the job. I'm really lazy. I like plants doing my work for me. Okay, so that's what all of these are doing. And then when you have a look, here's some of the sugars coming into play. And what's really cool is once you've got a number of different plants working, if I cut this fella off and I use him in my system, this plant won't die. Because of all these plants here, they will share all of their sugars and nutrients with this plant, and he'll regrow again. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
For this walking onion?
Walking onion, yeah.
Yeah, why sometimes does this help? Sometimes. Why?
Yeah.
Like,
so what here, look what happens here. Look how big that leaf is. See how wide he is?
yeah.
Okay, you imagine, look at that. Look how wide he is.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can't do much photosynthesis,
Right.
which is turning all that sunlight into sugar,
Right.
but he can.
Okay.
Okay, he's doing so much of it so he can share.
Okay.
They're really cool friends, they like each other. And look what you get from it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mhm.
How's that? And if we do this right, we don't have to use any poisons, any chemicals, any of that. The only time we need poisons and chemicals is if we forgot to put enough in the system to make it work. Now the tricky thing is, what I'm here to do is teach everybody how to make this system work for one thing. Because Uncle Cliff said to me, he really likes citrus. So this row, the whole heart and the reason for this row is this fella here, is that citrus plant. Okay, so this one's a kaffir, not a kaffir lime, this is a finger lime. Okay, and I wanted to make sure that we could grow that here. So every other plant, including the pawpaws and the eucalypts and the parsley and the cucumbers, they're all here just to look after that guy. Interesting, eh?
Mhm.
And what makes it really cool is Uncle Cliff will be able to get his finger limes, but why not have all of this at the same time? Yeah, sound pretty cool?
Yeah.
And that's also why this side has got tomatoes in it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Look at all that now. Look how big their leaf is. It's big, like a big solar panel.
Yeah.
And its job's to feed and put sugars. Have you ever tasted the nice, sweet little cherry tomatoes?
Oh yeah, I like it.
Why do you think they're sweet?
Because like it's like
All the sugar
yeah.
from the sun. So every time you breathe out, you're helping plants breathe in and turn it into sugar. You ever heard of sugar cane?
Yeah.
Where we get sugar from?
Yeah.
It's just a cane plant that's making sugar. Lots of it. Every plant makes sugar.
My favorite one.
So these are new different species of tomatoes.
Wait, so do you know exactly what these plants come from?
Yeah, that one's a beefsteak tomato, and we were
Yeah.
trying it out. It's not doing as well as we'd like, but it's still going to do okay. Here's a good example. This beefsteak, he looks like the tomatoes are okay, but he's only got one leaf on him. But he's still able to make tomatoes because he's very close to other tomatoes that are going to do the same photosynthesis so that they can share their photosynthesis and sugar with that tomato there. And these tomatoes here, we don't know what they're called yet. This is a new one. This is one that Cliff's farm has made all by themselves. specially made here. Yeah, and I'm really excited about it because look at that. On one stem you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 tomatoes. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
a lot too.
Alrighty. So we go and have another look at some others. Now, what we've got, I want to show you a little trick that we come up with. Because the soil that we started with is the most important thing, and if you look at the back there, you'll look at that soil there is really yucky and horrible dead. That's what we started with, very dead. We had no life in the soil, so we couldn't expect to grow any plants. So we had to make the soil. We know the plants are going to help us make soil, but what we did here was we made the soil. So I'll show you down here, come and have a look. When we pull that back, you'll see the first layer that these guys put together was a hay layer. And then if you dig down enough, you'll see under that, look at that, what do you think that is? Have a look at that, have a feel. Tell me if you know what it is.
Oh, that's wood.
That's a log.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so we've had to cut down trees and they're exactly 40 centimetres. So that's exactly the width of this aisleway here. And then in between that, so they don't roll, we've got a whole lot of wood chip. Okay? Which is a lot of what we call carbon. Okay? So we put all that carbon onto the soil because what that carbon does is that soaks up all the moisture and holds it for a long, long, long time. So now, with that happening, we necessarily only have to have one lot of watering, and this will hold all our water for us. And it's like a bank for the plants. Okay?
So, why does it have to be 40 centimetres?
Yeah, because our airways are 40 centimetres, we need it to be safe. Because of the workers here, we don't want to have them tripping or falling. So we've made it so that it's very safe. And we put 3 different layers of carbon down.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is so that all of that carbon there stays in the soil. Because one thing carbon wants to do, wants to get straight out into the air. Okay, and that's where we've got a problem at the moment. They talk about carbon emissions. And some farmers have been blamed for that, and they probably are right. Probably is the fault of a few farmers. Barmy farmers, I was going to call them. But if they do this, they will keep all their carbon in the soil.
So
Wait, what's that vegetable called? The one like
Alright.
like a little.
Oh, it looks like we're going to get wet in here.
That's fine.
that's okay.
That's this one here.
Yep. No, this one here.
This is okra.
Okra.
This is really, really good if you're a diabetic. So I'm a diabetic, and I think Cliff's got a little bit of diabetic in him as well, but this one here, if you cut that up and put it into your salads, it will balance your sugars for the whole day. You don't need any medicine. There it is right there.
So that has sugar too.
It's all sugar. Every time they photosynthesize and they turn that into sugar, it goes into there. So this one specific, it's actually really, really good for balancing your sugar all day long. So one of them, and you can mix up a bit of sugar and have all that sort of stuff, and it'll balance it out so your blood doesn't go. Yep. This is another different row. This row, even though you can see it's got all sorts of different types in it, its focus crop is this fella here. And that's a fig.
A fig.
Now figs don't normally grow in these conditions. So what we're trying to do here is prove that we can make them grow in these conditions by making the forest the way they love it.
Isn't a fig it's kind of like that, but it's like wider and more rounded? Is that the fig that you're talking about?
Yep, yep. There's a number of different figs. This is an edible one. There's a few different varieties. I think this one will actually work where we are here. Okay. So we're going to trial that, but we've also put a lot of other what we call support species. So this is your kale.
Yeah, kale. I like it like fried, like not fried like in like the oven.
I like kale chips.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's
so good. Then what do you know what that fella there is?
Is that celery?
Yep. Celery. And then what do you reckon that fella there is? Yeah. This is a bit of a trick.
This one.
I didn't think we were.
Wait.
That's a weed.
A weed? Well, why a weed?
Because we need weeds in our systems. Now weeds are what help feed our system, just like any other plant. Do you know what the job of the weed is? It's to fix the mistakes that farmers make. When we don't cover the ground enough, the weeds come to help cover the ground that we missed. So what I've been teaching these guys is whenever they don't plant their plant in the right space, the weed will come and cover it for them. What farmers do is they spend all day weeding. If they planted plants instead of weeding, they would be harvesting. And so instead of here, we chop this fella back. See how we've chopped it? Being a weed, you'd think we'd take that out, yeah? He's got roots in the ground and he's photosynthesizing and putting sugar into the soil. So what we do is, because he's getting a bit older, we don't want the message to be of an old person. You know, old people, they have old messages, yeah? You know, young messages.
Yeah.
So what we do is we prune this one back and get him to start having some young messages. That way all the young guys that are down here, they get the same message, because they share information all the time.
Do you know why it looks like a healthy tree instead of well, not rusty weed, but like a weed?
Why do you think it's healthy?
Well, I don't know, because it looks different to other weeds. Say, I can't do it.
I'll tell you one thing. Ready? You've got lots of friends. How boring would it be for you if I just grabbed you now and I took you out there and I shoved you in the hot sun all day, and you're only allowed to eat once a day? And no, you're not allowed to leave. You've got to stay standing there all day, every day. Pretty horrible, eh?
Yeah.
So what we do is we make sure we give them plenty of friends and they can chat and communicate and have fun. That's why he's happy. Yeah? Okay. Any other questions?
Actually, why are those flowers there?
Yep. So what are flowers good for, do you know? No?
For like the bees? Like,
Yeah.
like
You're
the bees
spot on. You're a new farmer coming up. There we go.
the bee like the pollen and
Yep.
go to other.
The bee's going to see that. He's going to come over and he's going to get the pollen. He's going to make some honey. So soon you'll be able to have honey here.
Yeah.
And not only that, the bee comes in and he will pollinate all of these different plants because we put flowers in here. And so every species, every different kind of plant, be it a food plant, flower plant, a weed, a fungus, all really, really, really important. And they all got their job to do. And if we don't let him do his job, then we have to come in and do that job for him. So we're going to make sure he's here because I'm lazy and I don't want to do the work. Yep. And even up there, see how we got trees in the line, and then all veggies and then trees again, and then all veggies and then trees again, and then all veggies and trees again? Yeah. Okay, we're going to make sure we got all sorts of what we call strata, all different stages, so they can get all sorts of different light, because certain plants like certain light. So like when I got married, my wife and I, she loves being in full sun. She loves the sun. I like to be in the shade where it's cool. And so we didn't get along too well unless we decided she would go out there and I would stay here. It's the same for plants. Some plants love the shade. Like that's why we get the parsley and we always plant it under other trees. Okay, because he doesn't like too much sun. If he gets too much sun, he finds it hard to grow. The minute he gets a bit of shade, he grows really, really well. Okay, so we're using the plants to help each other.
Yeah, I think that's all of it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Neil.
No, you guys are most welcome. Awesome to see you guys doing this stuff.
It'll only grow off the trees, so you can't like plant it like your organic farm. It can only grow from there. You've got about 3 spots on here where they grow. Now they can use it for lots of things. They can eat it raw, they put it in their stews, and they cook with it. To me it's a very unusual taste.
Bitter?
It's sort of bitter nice, but they make it taste very good. But you'll find them using it in stews a lot in South America. I do believe that it grows over in places like Indonesia. I'm not certain of that. But here, there are plenty. You won't see too many of these up this way. That is like And that's not even in full season yet.
Okay, I'm just about to eat one of the candle fruits off the tree. Here we go. That tastes so sweet.
You'd like it. You don't.
That tastes nice.
Does it?
CJ, what do you reckon about the candlestick fruit?
What is it actually
Gross.
like? What do you
Worst
reckon? I want to ever.
Maybe we'll have to cook it.
Is it bad?
Yes. Is it bad?
Oh, too funny.
Is it that bad? I thought it would be sweet and nice.
Tastes like poison.
Okay, well.
Oh, no. Awesome.
Hello guys, thanks for watching this video. The thing I learned was that that when it's young and it's still growing, it has all the old messages, and when it gets older, it has the old messages. When they cut it down, it goes back to young and they say new messages. The thing I learnt was about the different levels and how they can grow together.
The thing I learned is that they all produce fruit and and sugar, and what's called when like one fruit needs help, there'll be other fruits to help it to grow, and yeah.
Thanks for watching.
This. Make sure you subscribe and like and comment down below what was your favourite thing about this whole entire video.
Like and subscribe. No, subscribe and like.
Something. Put it in.
Bye.